Oh boy, folks, have we got a good one for you tonight? Because Terry and I have already gotten into it live.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for the last episode of Top of the World podcast, where I tell Dave he's a complete idiot. We've already hopefully Sherry's around for this live because she's gonna want to.
Oh boy,
she's gonna want to be here for this one.
If Sherry's around for this, she'll take my side because she adores my daughters.
Hey, dude, nobody. This isn't about your daughters.
So we're going to make this show a little less trip report because there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but there are some very big things I need to talk about from my trip report that I have since started believing. So, Terry, do we want to do a pre-show, blah, 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 or do we want to just go ahead and get into it?
Let a couple people join on. We'll banter here for a second.
We've been bantering, man.
Well, no, but we're bantering to the point of letting other people.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
We bantered so much more that I've looked at my to-do list and went, I'm just gonna go do work instead of have to publicly humiliate Dave Adams tonight.
There's not going to be any public humiliation, because I think we'll get into this at the end. But I think at the end of the day, we are arguing the same point. I think just a different way to get to that point, if that makes sense. There's a dog hair on my microphone, and it is bothering me. Let's see if I can.
It's probably your cat.
Probably. This is annoying me. That's a little bit better. I don't know. All right. Well, we've got two people. There's that stupid dog hair again. Okay. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get this started. If you are joining us live, please comment. Please enjoy the show. Throw in some questions. There's some big news we have to talk about. With we will get into maybe Starliner discussion. We've got to talk about the Grand Flow and the Poly.
Talk about the Starliner. We might want to talk about our GoFundMe that you and I are going to have to launch.
Oh, dude, and let's be honest. So go listen to WDW Today. Logan and Amanda did a great job of telling it like it should be. And let's be honest too. When Dave Adams gets on that ship, we all know I'm going full heel. I'm going full bad guy Sith, right? Y'all know this, right?
Well, no, somebody said you need to be from Crimson Dawn.
I mean, that's a great idea.
Yeah, you definitely should be
yeah.
Darth Sabin.
Darth Sabinus. I like it. Francisco, just finished listening to your last episode, and here you are again. Great surprise. Well, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hopefully it's a positive surprise.
I know,
maybe he was like, I don't think these guys will ever do another episode again.
Well, look, okay. Terry, you and I need to talk offline. I need to talk with I actually got an email from my friends at the DVC resale people. And they said that they're ready to talk business. So I think you and I need to talk and figure out
business.
Yeah, figure out some stuff.
Business time.
Hey, Chris and Teresa, I need to get a hold of you. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the little intro thingy, and then Dave and Terry are going to go at it. All right, so here we go, guys.
I am not in the mood.
Oh, you will be. It'll be fun.
This is Top of the World, the Disney Vacation Club podcast. A proud part of the WDW Today and Laugh-O-Gram Studios family. Join us as we talk parks, points, perks, and all things DVC, and how to get the most out of your membership. Here they are, Dave Adams and Terry Weaver.
Well, welcome home. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams. Oh, and
you are listening to Top of the World, the DVC podcast.
I got to give a shout out. We didn't start the show the way we should have. Hey yo, R.I.P. Scott Hall.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
New World Order forever.
444 life. Anyway. All right, so Terry,
Was
we
Scott
got.
Hall in the episode that was filmed at Hollywood Studios?
Yes, he was.
Okay, see, it's Disney related.
Yes, there you go. We could talk about it. NWO. In fact, that was the episode where Kevin Nash, Scott Hall's Outsiders tag team partner, lawn darted Rey Mysterio into a trailer.
And there's an episode of WDW Today that I wasn't on. I was traveling speaking, but Will and Logan interviewed Bischoff.
Yeah,
And they talked about that specific. So if you're a wrestling guy and you want to go listen to that, Google it. I'm sure the internet will tell you.
Peacock on the Peacock Network. It is one of the shows you can watch.
Oh yeah, WDW Today is on the Peacock Network.
No. I'm
Oh.
talking about that WCW show.
It's on the that episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to watch that, but anyway, we're
Good
not
time.
here to talk WCW.
Yeah, we're here to talk DVC, and maybe there may be a tag team match before this night's over.
No, it won't be tag team. It'll be 1v1.
Yeah. Well,
if
it'll
anyone's
be more of a Royal Rumble where the entire DVC community throws you out of the ring.
No, because I believe I had some people on my side. If you're a member of the Top of the World Listeners Lounge,
Okay,
you know exactly what we're going to talk about tonight because Terry and I already went off on each other on the internet community about a week and a half ago when I was at Disney.
Yep, it's okay, Dave. I mean, that's the beauty of truth is we don't get to have different opinions about facts. They're just facts.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, we're not going to go there.
Do I need to go get a vest like I'm Jordan Peterson tonight?
Do you want me to play the video that goes along with this and see whose facts are right here?
All right, you have the facts. So the big news is lots of DVC building going on.
Yeah.
Some that's done ish, some that's just beginning.
Ish.
And some that's a little Holiday Inn Express, if you will. So in the last few weeks, days, hours, Disney has revealed an opening up tour. You can go to the Grand Floridian right now and tour one of the new. They're called. What are they called in these things, Dave? They're something studios.
Let me look it up.
They're giving them a different name because being a DVC member is not confusing enough. We needed to put a new category. These aren't to be confused with the rooms that don't come with a bed from Dave's beloved Riviera.
Right. Hey, and I toured that. It's actually not bad.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
Grand Floridian Resort Studio.
A resort studio. But hey, yeah, if you're looking for a DVC room without a bed, head on over to the Riviera Resort for like 20 points a night.
It's actually not near as bad as you would think, though. For a family of just two, for a husband and wife going down, or a solo trip, those tower suites are perfect at Riviera. But
honestly, I have found the mattresses that they use on the pull down, the new pull down. What do they call those things?
Murphy beds.
Murphy beds. I think they upgraded them. They made a wise, and because of the weight of it, there's something about those mattresses that are just
they're comfy.
They're not too shabby.
Yeah.
So we got that going on at the Grand Floridian. The big kind of what's going on here? Of all things, is there's no like microwave in the room.
What?
And there's Keurigs versus coffee bakers.
And I love that. I wish that there were Keurigs in all the rooms.
Unless you plan, which a lot of DVC members have an owner's locker, and they travel with these things, they buy these things. It's a little it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
The lack of the microwave, I don't make sense. I mean, I've not been in a hotel like the Hampton Inn that hasn't had like a microwave in it lately. So I don't understand. There's got to be like some weird power thing, Dave, that's keeping them from doing that.
It's got to be something because even that a microwave doesn't use up a whole lot of power. So I don't know. It might be a cost saving thing. I know you love the fact that Disney is trying to save money some down the road somewhere. Maybe
we need to do a GoFundMe for Disney to buy some microwaves for their new. What does it cost to buy into the?
Good grief!
What's the point? What's the current point purchase? Direct.
I hadn't looked at that one.
You look it
Are
up.
they?
just
Are they
raised
even
3 resorts today again on us.
really? Are they even selling that new Grand Flow yet?
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I don't think it has officially yet.
But let's assume that it's going to be about at 210.
Yeah.
So let's assume that the person's going to buy at least 160 points.
I
Which
think
is
don't you
kind
have
of
to buy
the-
175 now to be?
So 175 times 210. You're making, by the time you pay closing fees, taxes, tags, title, you're going to spend a little under 40 G's
Right.
to become a DVC member at the Grand Floridian. So, you'd think they could run down to Target and Kissimmee and pick up those microwaves that probably run about $79.
Something tells me that they use microwaves that are not from Target, though.
Okay.
Anyway.
179, Dave. We'll go to Lowe's.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about counter.
Yeah, they're not your top of the line microwaves. They're not.
Right. So it's one of those things that doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with the messaging around DVC.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see if that's like a permanent thing or if that just happened to be like, wait, did somebody forget the microwaves?
Yeah. So Francisco makes a good point. Don't like the new resort style DVC rooms. Seems like they're trying to get away from the traditional DVC amenities and revert back to regular hotel services. I've noticed that a little bit on some of these rooms. The Riviera rooms, they're not like that. The Riviera rooms I love. But we'll talk about where I stayed this last time too.
So we really are going to fight before the show's over.
Yeah, we will.
This will be brutal. So stay tuned if you want to watch the end. So that's real interesting that they what our friend says there, because he's not wrong. I can't say that I get it. It doesn't seem to.
I think what they're doing, and
they're gorgeous rooms, by the way.
They are. I think what they're doing is they are trying to push people away from the resort suites to the 1 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms, because that's where you're getting a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but how many of those did they build in the new section?
I don't know if they did.
What's the breakdown? I didn't even know if there were any in the new room.
Well, I know that's what they're doing mostly in that Polynesian building.
Is
1, 2, and yeah,
because that's what they don't have.
They have to.
And the other news is the Polynesian is basically ripping down the
Spirit of Aloha
luau show area, which, if you've not kind of walked around the Poly in a while, if you were to get on for like geography perspective, if you were to get off the boat that you take from the Magic Kingdom and get off the boat dock, and instead of the end of the boat dock, instead of going left and walking right basically in the Trader Sam's, if you were to stay right and follow the shoreline there, you would eventually run into the Spirit of Aloha show and where the new DVC Tower is going. And it's going to take up that entire area. It's 2 or 3 buildings, it looks like, the kind of...
Yeah.
And by buildings, I just mean angles and main hall. That's probably all going to be connected, I would guess.
Here you go, Terry. Here's.
Yeah, I posted it. So that building on the far, if you're watching us live, the building on the far area, that's where that's going to be. And essentially the plans, Dave, essentially have kind of like what almost looks like a train layout where they've kind of bent it along the shoreline there.
So right here.
Yeah. And the next thing that you run into is basically the wedding pavilion at the Grand Floridian.
And that's right up here.
And, which would be the next thing that you would run into would be the DVC rooms at the Grand Floridian, which interestingly enough, you may actually be better off to walk to the Grand Floridian to get on the monorail.
Yeah, you might. So question here, and Terry, I've never stayed at the Poly. I've been in it multiple times to go to Ohana. Where are the DVC rooms? I know that these bungalows are DVC.
All the way, everything on the far right. Those 3 buildings are 2.5 building and a half.
So
Those are
Mora,
DVC
Pago Pago,
and Bora Bora.
and Bora Bora. Bora Bora's not on here.
Or
So
whatever that one is right by the Morea. I can't.
okay. So they will really be separating the DVC.
Which is fine. I mean,
Yeah,
they're on, if you think about how separate they are at Wilderness Lodge.
that's true.
They're really just trying to meet the demand that they know that the DVC members want to stay in monorail resorts.
Yeah.
And I hope, honestly, this is their response to DVC resorts. I hope it's actually how they respond to the theme parks in the near future. I hope they finally finish and fill up the theme parks. So that all 4 parks are full day parks in Orlando.
I think so. Being down there, I think Epcot still has a year, has to, before it gets to full day.
And dude, we've only got one more. I would argue only one more attraction because we've got Mary Poppins on hold. We haven't heard anything more about the Play Pavilion.
Right.
Moana, we've heard nothing else about the Festival Center.
Moana is being made.
That's not an attraction. That's a distraction.
It's a people eater. People will walk through it.
It's a people slower.
People. So the Seas is a people slower, but that place is always packed.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Honestly, and I'll give you, if you get a chance on a Disney deluxe resort, if you're staying at a DVC resort and you get a chance, I didn't talk about this in my last trip report, but Leslie and I kind of accidentally didn't know that the day we were in there was a deluxe resort stay after night.
Right.
And we found ourselves over in that, and we went and rode the Seas, and we got off the Seas and went upstairs and basically just sat on the floor and watched dolphins for like 20 minutes by ourselves.
I get too bored.
Okay, well, you can't sit on the beach, Dave.
I can't. I can't. I'm sorry.
I mean, dude, I don't, I can sit on the couch and watch Braves baseball for 3 hours.
I do that, but I also have to do something else.
I don't have 2 dolphins in my office. You might.
I got 2 little girls running around acting like dolphins a lot of the time,
making flipper sounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It works.
But anyways, it's all that to say, it's a great time to go and experience.
Yeah.
A basically empty Seas Pavilion.
You know what isn't a good time to go and experience an empty Seas Pavilion? And you just gave us a good segue, Terry. Madness. The Midnight Madness or whatever they're calling it.
So we just had another Moonlight Magic.
Yeah, that one.
And I know several folks that were just there. And Moonlight Magic, and I can say this, I have been to Moonlight Magic in all 6 domestic U.S. parks.
Cool.
I've been to California Adventure, probably almost as many as any of the other ones. Just because it always lined up with our thing event in LA when we did our event out in LA pre-pandemic. Epcot was always the most underwhelming.
Right now, Epcot is the most underwhelming park anyway.
Well, and part of the reason is they close. The Moonlight Magic is sort of when your argument that Epcot's not a full day park, because they literally close the park basically from Morocco to Norway becomes just a walking trail.
Really?
Nothing is open.
None of the United States?
From Morocco, which is closed, to, I guess, China, all of those are closed. Every single one of those is closed.
So Italy,
Germany,
China,
U.S., Morocco.
Wow.
All closed.
Okay, that's sad.
There's arguably no attractions in between.
There's no attractions, but that's some of the best eating right there.
Well, also, all the food booths typically are closed.
Yeah, okay, you lost me.
Which is part of the problem why Moonlight Magic had the problem they had because they give everybody a voucher for free dining. Because it's like, oh, you know, and the registration for Moonlight Magic is always sort of
Wonky.
well, it's like buying tickets on Ticketmaster. By the time you get to the part of buying tickets, you're like,
You're
wow,
so fed
Dave
up.
Matthews is my favorite band of all time. To I will never listen to Dave Matthews again. I hate that band, and I hate everything. You know, like
Live Nation is just as bad.
well, Live Nation owns Ticketmaster,
Do they really?
same company.
Well, that gummit. Okay.
Yeah, same company. Spoiler alert. So if you hate one, there's a reason.
Hate them both.
So yeah, which I'm not sure how that ever got through like the
The FCC.
yeah. I don't know how that happened, man.
All right. Anyway, so they closed Norway through all that.
So
to
Norway's
walking
open,
trail.
so you can go ride Frozen, you can go ride the Mexico Pavilion. I think La Cava might be open depending on how they're feeling, but they've closed pretty much everything. And so everything was a long line. They gave out popcorn buckets to everybody that wanted them.
Right.
But rather than just saying, "Hey, we'll give you a popcorn bucket at the end," because when they did the ones at Animal Kingdom, they gave us the light up mug that you used to get at rivers of whatever that was called,
Rivers of Light.
Yeah. Like they just gave those when you left. So they just should have given you the popcorn bucket
Right.
at the exit. I don't know what it is about Disney. Popcorn buckets are their Achilles heel.
Always have been.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're so. I mean, what the problem is? It's not that complicated. They're a $1 billion company that can't figure out how to hand out popcorn buckets for free, or for paid. You know, but
No, the last time they did a great job with it. Doing
yes, once they moved to that, but that
the
only lasted
VQ.
like 2 days.
Well, because
twice.
they were all
One-
sold out by then.
Sure. But which does that alone doesn't make any sense. Why did they not make enough? And when people tell me, you know, one of the other things is Disney's had some stockholder meetings. And
I know.
and your friend and my friend Bob, who it feels like is about to get run out on the rails. Employees have been walking out this week. But interestingly enough, Dave, one of the things that Chapek kind of used as a narrative is like going back to Epcot, right? It's like, well, Mary Poppins is on hold, and the Quinjet ride in Adventures Campus and California Adventures on hold. You know, we had to get through a pandemic, and we've not made more money. You know, speaking of GoFundMe, just put a Quinjet popcorn bucket for sale, and that joker will
good.
pay for the whole attraction in a couple hours.
Right?
You know, like sell some more Figment popcorn buckets, and it'll pay for the ride to be redone. You know what? We need to sell a Dick Van Dyke popcorn bucket. I'd buy that. I'd wait in line for that.
I don't know how you would do that.
Just pop open his head, and there's
That would be a little weird. Okay. Anyway,
spoonful of sugar makes the popcorn go down, Dave.
that's Julie Andrews.
Same movie.
Yeah, but you said Dick Van Dyke.
Same movie. Close enough.
Dear Lord.
Maybe it's a chimney. It's a chimney sweep.
Chimney.
That's easy. It's a chimney sweep bucket, dude, full of popcorn.
Okay, I could see if you just give me the chimney sweep brush. The
Yeah,
flume.
you want the brush to brush on your
Oh, shut it.
black
right.
popcorn dust. Yeah, so that's I don't understand that excuse. I get it. The pandemic, we lost money. We were and that's what's interesting. And there are some things, man. Disney fans either like we let Disney off like and go, oh well, there was the pandemic and they were closed for 3 months, and it's like, I don't know about you, Dave, but if you've been in the parks, the money is flowing, my friend. The profits are
It
up.
is.
They've made up the money they lost.
I don't think they've made up the money they've lost. I mean, let's be honest. The profits are up, but they still it still costs a lot of money to run the park.
Sure. But
They're in the green. They are in the green.
There are still things that aren't back, and they keep making announcements. Like they made an announcement the day we're recording this, Dave, that hey, minivans are coming back.
I'm excited about that.
And sure, let's be excited, but they just said summer. You know, summer's not a date; it's just a season. In which
I've always said when they say summer, expect it to be
September 2nd.
September. Right. No, what is the first day of actual fall? Is it September or is it October?
Who knows?
I'm expecting it to be the day before the first day of fall.
Which is, we still don't have trams back.
In some of the parks we do. In Animal Kingdom and in Magic Kingdom we do.
No, Animal Kingdoms are back?
I believe so.
Did you ride one?
No, we didn't go to AK on this trip.
I don't think they're back. I've seen them in the parking lot there, but I haven't seen anybody posting about riding them. I've only seen trams posted at Animal Kingdom, at Magic Kingdom.
Which is the one they really need. Let's be honest.
Animal Kingdom is almost as bad. If you park at the back of the Animal Kingdom parking lot,
I've never had to park back there.
I mean, well, first of all, dude, if you walk from like the edge of the parking lot
right
to the safari, that alone is a mile.
Yeah. Oh, probably more than that.
No, it's a mile.
Really?
Yeah. So if you add the back of the parking lot, that's another mile.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a need. What
It
I'm
is.
shocked by how long they've gotten away with this is the Disability Act, because it creates an access problem for people who are parking that far away.
But if you've got a Disability Act necessity, you're parking up front.
Yes, you're parking closer, but not not.
And at that point, the trams aren't going to take you to the front of the park.
Well, they take you right.
They take you to the bus drop off, which is basically where the disability parking is.
Maybe.
So that's how they can get away with it. Because if you've got the disability need, you've got the disability pass, you're parking where the trams drop you off. So, Jeffrey makes a good point. Can't they just call the trams a ride and do the same thing they did with the sky buckets of death? Hey, first off, the Skyliners are my favorite, mine and my daughter's favorite mode of transportation at the park. But yeah, I love that they did that. The only reason we still have to wear masks on Disney bus is because of the TSA's mask mandate on transportation. And Disney got the Skyliner and I believe the monorail coded as a ride. Don't quote me on the monorail, but I know the Skyliner.
The monorail is an attraction in Anaheim, but I think it's actually down for maintenance right now.
Yeah. So but do they call somebody who's watching? Please, tell me if I'm right or wrong.
It's a mode of transportation. Oddly enough, the Galactic Star Cruiser transport, you don't have. They've discontinued those
because they're calling that an attraction in and of itself. I don't know how. We'll have to ask Logan what it's like I'll watch a YouTube video. I know he says not to, but I'll watch a YouTube video of the mode of transportation just to see. Actually, I don't think they took the mode of transportation because they had their car.
No, you have to take that to get to the park that day. No, they didn't have a car.
They didn't they say they did?
No, they took an Uber from the airport and left straight there to go to Destin. So
okay,
they went to the beach from there.
Yeah, they were at Destin while I was at Gulf Shores.
So yeah, dude, and that's the Galactic Star Cruiser dumpster fire right now. Is that experience of getting on those and going over?
Yeah.
I mean, you're riding in the back of a box truck with a door in it.
Oh Lord, this is either Brad or Sherry. Let me see who it is.
And then and that's another experience that's the one thing on the Star Cruiser that I've seen and heard where they actually didn't follow through on what they could have. Because you hear a droid, but you don't see a droid on that.
Oh, that's Brad, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the CDC has kind of said that's going through April. April
April
18th is
18th
when
right
that
now.
expires. It was to expire the 18th of March, and they just extended it one more month. So
Right.
I would anticipate that going away.
And I'll be super excited about that because I'll be flying cross country in July.
So yeah, I would think you'll be. Although, man, I'm gonna be real. If you're at the parks right now, you may want to keep wearing a mask, man, because they are. I mean, in front of the Creature Shop in Epcot.
Yeah.
I mean, people. It was wall to wall people. People were moving it like there was no need to slow people down with the Moana attraction. There was just too many people there to get through the opening.
Yeah, it gets pretty rough. I was there carrying out a screaming child our first night at Magic Kingdom. And it gets pretty rough when you're trying to go up the sea.
Your wife had to carry you out of the park like a screaming child? Is that what you just said?
No, we'll get into this in my trip report part.
Okay.
And
And then the other kind of news is the Disneyland Dvc Tower is old former DVC VP was over there today. Old Ken Potrock, who's now the Disneyland vice president.
Nice.
Yeah, wouldn't have been my words. But he was over there standing there watching, and they all had their hard hats on, and they started to go vertical with the tower. So we might get some more DVC rooms
in a year and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, heck, that's
it won't help.
You could probably try every day right now for a year and a half, Dave, to get more than 2 nights back to back.
I know.
At the Grand Californian and not succeed.
I'm on a wait list. I've been on a wait list since December.
And it's not budging, is it?
Nope, not at all.
And that's your only hope there was that the pandemic was going to drag on and people were just not going to not go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
I need somebody like Brad, who is who owns at the Grand Cal, to have got me an 11-month window.
And that's where you guys can get creative with your points. When you want to do that, and say your friend Brad wants to go stay at Riviera at the 11-month mark.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's hard to get in. You can hook a brother up. He can hook you up.
I didn't think about that.
There's ways to get creative if you need to. There's trades, there's gift cards, there's bourbon exchanges. You can do whatever you need to do to make your friend. And dude, some people have just points they can't use.
Yeah, I know. That's the opposite issue with me.
Yeah, dude, I wouldn't know of this problem.
Yeah, even now. By the way, I just opened up my Facebook, and this is a Disney breaking news.
Okay.
That pertains to you, Mr. Terry Weaver.
Oh my Lord, what's happening now?
There's a brand new sandwich at Wolfgang Puck's Bar and Grill at Disney Springs. The Nashville Hot Chicken sandwich at Wolfgang Puck's. I would have to know, is it in it? I wonder if it's as good as Hattie B's.
I'm gonna go no.
I mean, Wolfgang Puck's a good chef.
Now, he's a California chef, Dave.
That's okay.
If it was Art Smith making Nashville chicken, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right? But
All right.
That's gonna be a no for me.
Okay. You wouldn't even be willing to try it.
I typically don't eat hot chicken outside of Nashville.
Oh, okay.
It'd be like you going to California to finding a place that had barbecue and getting chicken that had Alabama white sauce.
Okay, yeah, I totally understand then.
When you could drive to Big Bob Gibson's and get the real deal.
I might have to do that this weekend. Actually.
Oh, dude, you should. Honestly, I was watching the Food Network. The number one piece of barbecue, the guy that has Man Fire Food, the number one barbecue in America was the number 2 was or 3 was the pulled pork, chopped pork from Lexington, North Carolina. The number 2 was the brisket from Franklin Barbecue in Austin, and number 1 was the chicken with the Alabama white sauce from Big Bob.
Really? Yeah. I don't know if I could say. Okay, look, I am Alabama barbecue chicken through and through. I don't know if I could say that it's better than Texas barbecue brisket.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd put it up against Franklin
No.
barbecue. I thought that was kind of
No.
I thought somebody greased the palm a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, he
Nick
might have
Saban found a way to cheat on that one too. He got you guys through, man. I don't know what happened, but
look, yeah, I'm okay with saying we're number one in a lot of things, but
yeah, because it's funny, dude. Because you go to Austin and you got to get in line at like 6 o'clock in the morning if you want Franklin barbecue,
right?
Leslie and I, when we were down in Huntsville the last time, we went to Big Bob Gibson's, which is in the most depressing town I've ever been to in Alabama.
In Decatur,
like,
Yep.
which to be the most depressing town in Alabama, that's an achievement.
You haven't been to some of them.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I mean, I'm not counting LA in that equation because that whole once you get down there,
if you're not at the beach in LA, you're in a depressing town.
Yeah.
By the way, for the LA,
shout out
Lower
to
Alabama
tonight.
Lower Alabama.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we went there in like the middle of the afternoon, middle of lunch rush, and it was like there was 4 people in the restaurant, and we were 2 of them. So
yeah,
it's good. It was good eats. So I brought me home some. I think the Martin's barbecue Alabama white sauce is actually better.
Oh no, you just that's heresy, man.
But they also make it fresh,
Exactly.
and I think they're bottling it at Big Bob Gibson's.
There, you can buy bottles. I don't know if you could buy it up in Nashville, but the Publix here sells bottles.
Right, but that's all they had. They didn't offer you like fresh, so it's hard to compete with like.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, heck, and let's be real. I mean, Wolfgang Puck's is pretty good, but it's also sort of like
fancy smancy.
Odd that that's breaking news. Like we're so desperate for good Disney news that somebody had to post on that
Disney food blog.
And there's been a lot of Disney news.
There has been. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is coming back.
As Dave goes into his trip report, Disney's running it probably, I would argue it maybe 80%-ish.
I'd say it's about that.
And I'm leaving it a little low because we're still talking about, and what's odd, dude, is like Disneyland Paris is removing social distancing from character interactions, which Paris
Give it time.
Huh?
Give it time.
Well, there's no question, dude, that it's coming. I've given it time.
I know, but
anyways, I think we're still at about 80%. We still don't know, the things that are. I think the last restaurant we've kind of been waiting on is. I just blanked on
Victoria and Albert's is finally opening.
Victoria and Albert's has an opening time window, and we still don't know on Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review.
We thought we lost it, but we didn't.
Yeah, it's sometimes I'll be honest, they kind of test on those things. Everyone acts like these leaks, and everybody tries to make WD-Doos today like out to be, the spawn of Satan of the Disney community or whatever. But dude, they leak that stuff just to see if people are really, they want to know like what the deal is. So for the most part, we still don't have character dining back in its original form. But for the most part, a lot of the shows are back. Oddly, when I was at Disneyland a few weeks ago, I felt like their entertainment, other than the shows, were back in a bigger way. They even had Streetosphere on in California Adventure. Now it was socially distanced, but at least they had the characters out. And they were still interacting. You could still talk to them. They were still in their characters. But yeah, I mean, like you said, give it time. I think honestly, by the time the minivans come back, which we're gonna really honestly say is gonna be September.
That's my thought. Yeah. All right. Oh, I just heard an echo of myself. You ready for my trip report?
Speaking of echoes of yourself, give us the highlights.
All right. Yeah. Easy highlights. We got there Thursday afternoon. we took our time going from we stopped overnight on Wednesday night in Macon. Actually, no, we went through Macon, stopped just a podunk town in Georgia, stayed overnight.
Smart move.
Yeah, easy to break it up.
Macon's got a nice Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
I always recommend a good Chick-fil-A stop. You get a nice clean bathroom, get you some of the Lord's chicken.
It's about 5 hours the first half of the day and 5 hours the second half of the day.
Yeah, and that's depending on how much of you don't actually have to go through Atlanta. You can kind of bypass it completely.
I go through so I actually go past Turner Field, the way I go.
Okay.
You could get on the bypass there, 285, but I choose to just do 20 to 75. I usually hit it when it's not in rush hour.
We got rear-ended there one time.
Whoo!
Rear-ended. I was driving to my uncle's funeral with my mom, and we got hit and run. Waited on the side of the road for like 4 hours for the Atlanta PD to make their way over to us to write it. Nope. They eventually just said, "Here's a number. We're not even going to come."
Yeah. There has been times we've gone through and stopped at the Dwarf House there, which was the original Chick-fil-A. They actually serve burgers at that Chick-fil-A, which if you've never eaten there, I highly recommend it. But anyway, we get into town. We roll up to Old Key West. Amanda finds a pair of DVC ears she's never seen before, so we buy them. Have to cut off the CVS receipt that's on the ears now.
Boy, those are legit, aren't they? They keep getting.
They're horrible. I accidentally forgot that I had my pocket knife in my pocket and went to the park, and
yeah, because you flew.
Yeah, no, we drove.
You drove, so you would, if you would have flown, that would have resolved that for you. But
exactly, but we drove to the beach after Disney, so we didn't do that. But so we get into our rooms at Old Key West. We stayed at a 1-bedroom, and for those of you who are members of the listener lounge, and if you're not, please join us on the listener lounge. We talk Disney, DVC. Terry and Dave go off on each other all the time. But I showed y'all a video of the 1-bedroom at Old Key West, and honestly, Terry, my college apartment was smaller than that 1-bedroom at Old Key West. I get why people don't like it. It is a spread out resort, but the size of those rooms made it ideal for a family of my size.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one really, like, the people who love Old Key West, and those people exist. I had high hopes, man, when Old Key West did the remodel.
Right.
And I think the remodels actually helped the 1-bedroom and beyond. The studios did not fare well.
And that's right. I know Sherry, friend of ours, friend of the show, friend of every show that I've done, that Terry does. I know Sherry had a bad time at the Deluxe Studios at Old Key West, and I get it. I'm going to say something. I'm not admitting I was wrong here, but my bad taste of Saratoga was the Deluxe Studios. So I'm wondering if Saratoga is the same thing. Because those two resorts are very similar. They're very spread out. They've got 5 bus stops at each resort.
Well, they're kind of similar, but Saratoga's much bigger. Only 2-story buildings, a couple of 3-story buildings in Old Key West, and some of the ones are 4 and 5 stories in Saratoga.
Right.
Both of those are spread out the way they are for good reason. They're both golf course.
Right.
They're both working their way around the golf courses there, which does give you some nice views.
Yeah,
I stand by, though, dude, that the remodel at Saratoga, and I know you're not going to you'd never publicly admit this, because you the difference between you and I is I'll admit when I'm wrong and you won't.
I will admit when I'm wrong. I promise you I would.
But Saratoga, the remodels, and we didn't stay at Saratoga a ton. I mean, we've owned there, and it's never. The reason where Saratoga, Old Key West, and Animal Kingdom come in is like we stayed there a lot. It's because they're big.
And you can usually
the math game works on getting in there a lot.
And the problem with those resorts, though, is they are far away from everything.
which if you're driving and choose to drive the parks, it wouldn't be a big deal to you.
There's only one park I refuse to drive to,
Which is?
Magic Kingdom. Just I don't want to deal with the TTC.
Yeah, the TTC is... It's there for a reason, because Walt was trying to protect the
magic.
The magic as much as he could. So he tried to isolate the Magic Kingdom as much as he could.
I get it. I do, but I just don't want to deal with it.
No, it especially at the end of your day.
Right, exactly.
At the end of your day, when I started having a really bad allergy attack and I was having a hard time breathing, and when we walked back at the end of our day to our car with no trams at the beginning of the pandemic, or like, I guess they had been open for like 6 or 7 months, but
well, then you couldn't even take your mask off at all.
No, and that was that was what got me really sick. Is I got literally a viral infection for basically breathing my own snot for 10 days in Florida in the humidity. You basically had to be actively eating or drinking and stopped at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Which is interesting how far you've come, because if you've been, we're going to talk about Dave's experience at watching the fireworks, but there was nothing socially distanced about that. I mean,
not well. They were where we were, but that's just, we'll talk about it.
You might have lucked out.
Well,
but
we'll
normally
talk about why
you're stacked on top of other people. Like,
oh yeah. Anyway, so we get to Old Key West, unload, unpack. We decide to take a bus to Magic Kingdom for the day. Well, we had park reservations, and we went to Magic Kingdom for that evening. We went and saw the princesses. First thing, we walked in, basically walked right on to go wave at Mickey Mouse in his at Town Square Mickey, and it was great. The only difference, you can't hug him, but it was just this is the first time I've gotten to go and see characters again like this kind of interaction. It is a little weird not getting to hug them, but they still, if you're doing face characters, like the princesses or the princesses, they'll talk to you, they'll tell their stories. So it's still really cool. They'll pose, take a picture. So that is still there. You will get to hug them again very soon, by what I've heard. A restaurant that people sleep on that we ate at Be Our Guest at that night. I understand that Be Our Guest gets a bad rap because it's very expensive. And
you went for the prefix dinner then, right?
We went for the prefix dinner. I had, oh gosh, I can't remember what I had, but it was amazing. Oh, it was the beef tenderloin. It was amazing. Some of the best beef tenderloin I've had in a long time. But what is amazing at Be Our Guest, their dessert might be some of the best dessert on property.
The gray stuff?
No, the gray stuff is good. The macaron is good. They had a chocolate truffle with a raspberry filling. It was just, it's just enough to satisfy your sweet tooth, but not enough to where you feel like you want to die. So we ate there. We got out about 8:00. For those of you that know me and know my family and know Ellie and our struggles, I think I've talked about on this show before. Ellie is extreme anxiety and ADHD. We get out. We didn't have Ellie's noise canceling headphones, and we get out, and the fireworks show had just started that night. And if you know where they shoot the fireworks off, if you know where Be Our Guest is, you walk out of Be Our Guest and you're basically right there at their artillery shells. Ellie is running for her life, screaming at the time. We had we were trying to figure out how can we get out of the park. The only way I could hold Ellie is I had to actually hold her ears, or hold my hand on her ears.
Is this the magic being back that you were talking about, Dave?
Oh, no, this is the night before. And we had to walk through Tomorrowland. Now they block off the bridge going into the hub, and so you have to go around.
You have to go
through,
behind.
Tomorrowland Terrace and the plaza, and then you go back behind the Main Street there. That was a fish swimming upstream. That was the worst crowd I've been in at Disney World. And I've been in some bad
Now, here's the
crowds.
other part of that piece, Dave. Had you waited until after the fireworks, it would have been worse than that.
Oh, I agree. But here's the deal. Could I have waited with Ellie screaming her head off? Probably not.
You probably should have been a better Disney adult and paid attention to the fact that it was a fireworks and stayed in the restaurant until they were over.
We had thought about that. But our first
Pro tip: if you could listen to like a Disney podcast and get people to give you professional advice.
Yeah.
So if your kids are sensitive to that, be aware when you're leaving reservations around fire. Be aware when the fireworks are occurring, even if it's not on your. And it's also the same thing that may be a great time to go the opposite direction. Now, in your case, anyone else, I probably would say, you know what you should do, Dave, is go ride like the Barnstormer. That'd have been a good time. Had you had that to do all over again,
I probably would have done Under the Sea.
I would have either told you to go like duck in Under the Sea or go towards the mansion or something over on that side of the park. Because it's a little isolated from the mortar shells.
At the time, we were just
Under the Sea, that queue is very loud because there was a fire there a couple weeks ago, even. So
yeah, that's true. At the time, we were just trying to get out.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are we do try to be helpful on this podcast from time to time, Dave. So
every now and then.
So I'm just trying to think, how can we avoid this,
right,
for people in the future? All right, we got to keep going, dude. We've only got
Yeah, I know. Next day, we did Hollywood Studios early in the morning. We had a reservation for Cinderella's Royal Table for brunch, or Lupper, I guess you call it. 3:00 CRT at Magic Kingdom. So Linner. There you go. We did Hollywood Studios first thing in the morning.
What did Cinderella's Royal Table set your family of 4 back?
$269.
I got to get me one of those castles.
But I'll be honest, the food was amazing.
I don't think I've ever had. Hey, dude, just speaking of fire, be glad the kitchen didn't catch on fire. The kitchen was on fire tonight.
We got to see Cinderella again. We saw her the day before.
Okay.
She's there meeting people again. Harper got to dress. We bought Harper
in the lobby when you go up. She's down there. She's welcoming you to your dinner.
Yep. We bought Harper a Sleeping Beauty dress because this is the same age we did Bippity Boppity for Ellie. So we couldn't do Bippity Boppity, but we bought her.
Next trip, though, dude, they have started hiring internal for casting for Bippity Boppity internal. And it's back to the cruise ship currently.
Yeah, we'll probably do it on the Wish with her. But
when are you sailing on the Wish?
When? October.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do a day at Magic Kingdom before.
You know what you should do on the Wish? I just saw the new Captain Minnie Mouse.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and that dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's internet. We're actually recording this during International Women's Month. The Wish will have Captain Minnie.
Yep, exactly.
Versus Captain Minnie. So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm not a girl dad, but you are. So that
I am.
That may be a good story to get the narrative of your kid that
women can do it too.
If you dress up like a fictional woman, you too can.
But anyway, so this is the story of where the magic starts flowing.
Okay.
For Ellie.
After your daughter was screaming.
Well, the night before. So let me paint even more of a picture. We get done eating at Cindy's, and the Friendship Fair.
Did she still have my creepy picture up in the castle?
She did. It was right over the fireplace.
She's a creeper.
The Friendship Fair stage show was going on.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's loud. Ellie was freaking out. The noise was
on the
front. After we eat, we go around and think, oh, well, look, it's Rapunzel, Ellie. Let's go see your favorite princess. And she had to put her noise canceling headphones on just to see it. So I'm thinking, we're thinking the whole night. All right, we're going to watch the fireworks. We're going to find
your daughter tolerate you?
That's a good question.
Does she wear noise canceling when she's around you?
No,
maybe that's what I need. I need to talk to Ellie and get me some good Dave Adams noise canceling headphones.
She's
Get
just
me
used
some
to
of
it with me. So we had went into the park thinking, all right, we're going to find a way that me and Amanda, who want to see Enchantment, we're going to try to find a way to watch the fireworks away from all the noise. And when I saw her freaking out with the noise canceling headphones during the stage show, I was like, oh, this is going to suck. I had a lightning lane not lightning lane. I had the DAS pass for Seven Dwarfs. And then immediately after that, we had Splash Mountain. Ellie was brave and did Splash Mountain for the first time and loved it. When we crest that hill and she saw the castle, she thought that was the greatest thing in the world. Unbeknownst to me at the time, Amanda and Harper had found out that you can use your DAS pass in the hub to watch the fireworks. They have a roped off area so if you're looking straight at the castle, it's on the left side. There's the hub grass thing in front of Casey's, and right in front of that is a roped off part of the walkway that they use for DAS pass to basically give you a space for wheelchairs, for whatever. Amanda showed them, hey, we've got the DAS pass, and explained the situation. Hey, my daughter's got extreme anxiety. She freaks out with fireworks. We're going to try tonight. What can we stay here? That's yeah. Here you go. We're going to put you right in front of this pillar. That way, if she needs to duck down and hide, you're good. We stay there. They camp out from about 6 o'clock on. Ellie and I ride Splash Mountain. I go get my cheeseburger egg roll, which if you haven't done that in a while, please do. It's the best thing in the park.
I enjoyed the cheeseburger, but the pastrami one was quite nice as well.
I did the cheese. I did
you did the combo.
both of them.
That's the pro tip. Do the combo.
Yeah, they're
both of them are better. The sauce they give you with the pastrami is better than the one they give you the cheeseburger, I think.
I agree.
Now, granted, those stupid things are up to like $14 or something.
I think I paid
11
about there.
Yeah,
about that.
Whatever. Who cares, right? Like you're at Disney, just take my money.
Whatever. Take my money.
Get it over with.
Right. Remember, we'd eaten dinner at 3 o'clock. So here it is.
You were needing.
Yeah, I need some protein.
Daddy was hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing you were probably hangry actually at that point.
I was okay at the time there. I was getting a little tired. I'm too old to rope drop anymore. I found that out.
Good.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there. They make these, these putty earphones that you twirl up and stick in your ears. So we had done that for Ellie and then put her noise canceling headphones on. She stood up on sat down on a trash can. Her and Harper sitting there having fun. Fireworks start. She's got her headphones. She's if you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube right now, she's got her hands over her headphones, covering her ears. So she's got 3 layers of protection over her ears. She's fine. All of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, she starts singing at the top of her lungs. And I'm watching the castle. I'm watching, just having fun, watching the fireworks. It's not as bad as I thought it was. It's actually it's cooler to watch in front of the castle as it is to watch on YouTube. It is a better show than you thought. It just doesn't pull at your heartstrings like Happily Ever After or Wishes or whatever. We'll get into that later, Terry.
No, dude. I mean, dude, there's no argument for me that I give Disney a hard time because I'm holding it to the high standard that I know they're capable of.
I get it. I get it.
And is this fireworks show above and beyond anything else in the world for the most part right now? Absolutely.
Yes.
Is it above and beyond what Disney could do? No. If I came home and got a B, my mom treated me like I was Albert Einstein. Right?
I get it.
She was just she was like, that's better than your, because I was a D+ kid at best.
Right.
Like, school wasn't my jam. I was bored in school. And you know, I know what Disney's capable of. And I did see Enchantment. Last time I saw Enchantment was from California Grill.
Yeah.
With friends who had never seen it. And one of the things that actually helped me to enjoy Enchantment was to just watch the fireworks.
That is what I part of what I was going to say is the fireworks for this.
Oh, the fireworks! There's never been an issue at the pyro.
They're better than Happily Ever After's fireworks.
So if you go to the beaches of the resorts, go to the deck of Narcoossee's, go to the beach of the Polynesian, go have dinner at the Grand Californian, watch it from up there. I would tell you to go to Top of the World Lounge.
Eventually.
I feel like we've excused that one to death. I feel like
I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying eventually.
I hope you're right. I fear you're wrong. Eventually there will be some other upsell available there, I would imagine. But yeah, the show is much better if you just watch the fireworks and catch the music.
Right.
And the first act is really the part of Enchantment for me that is so like I don't even care.
I get that. I do. And that's not the part that Ellie loved. And let's get back into this real quick. First part, she's okay. She's watching the fireworks. She's holding her hands over her ears. But I'm watching the show thinking, okay, this isn't bad. And then all of a sudden, it gets to the Frozen.
I've never heard these songs before.
Right.
What are these songs from? That's a movie.
We get to the Frozen part where Elsa lights up the castle.
Yes.
And you hear, ah. And I look over at my wife, and she's got her camera at me. And I'm sitting next to Ellie, by the way. And I'm like, Amanda, why are you pointing the camera at me? The castle's there. She said, look. Ellie starts taking her headphones off. She starts taking the putty out of her ears, and she is singing at the top of her lungs. She is watching the fireworks. Her mouth is open. She's singing. She's having fun. And from that moment on, she says, Daddy, that was amazing. She's like, Daddy, that firework's a star. Look, that's a snowflake. That's a heart. This is where you and I are probably going to disagree.
No, because I think that from that point on in the show, oddly enough, fun fact, Aaron Encinas, who currently is out with Miley Cyrus right now, singing background vocals, who was at the very first Thing LA. He did our after party after Katrina Stone played a set. Aaron Encinas opened up the night, so he's a Thing alumni.
Yeah,
and he hits that ridiculously the end of the
Yeah,
I'm not going to try to sing it like you. I'm going to spare our listeners' ears from my vocal cords.
I appreciate that.
Something you haven't done is the decency of tonight. But
I
he hits that big into the that note.
Yeah.
And so yeah, dude, I love that part. The last time I saw the show on Main Street, that's where I left because I knew what was coming and I'd seen it, and I really just wanted to see if the beginning of it translated any better.
I get it. So, but here's where we're going to disagree.
Okay.
People say Disney magic is dead, and people say Enchantment, it's a load of crap. It's not what it should be. I admit it should have at least a little bit of Walt at the beginning and then go into it. But they made it for the younger generation. If you watch everything past that first third of it, it's all new IP. Newish IP.
I have no problem with the moment that your daughter came alive and beyond. It's the stuff.
Okay. Then we're going to agree then. But here's what I'm
where we disagree, Dave, is you think.
Well,
go ahead and give everybody your big point. And this is where.
No, so here's where I'm going to change what I said on Facebook a little bit.
Oh, okay. You're
Disney. They made Enchantment for the younger generation, but how it's our generation, Terry. We're kind of you're Gen X, I'm millennial, zennial. I'm kind of in that middle generation. Our generation wants to relive our glory days. We want to have our heartstrings tugged like we did in Happily Ever After. But how that's incredibly selfish of us to think that Enchantment was made for us or made to be a show just for us, when at that moment that show was exactly what Ellie needed. That show was exactly what made the magic come alive for her. So at that moment, that made Enchantment the most magical thing for me because I was watching it through Ellie's eyes. And therefore, I thought that Enchantment at that point was the best show it could have ever been because I saw how Ellie came alive and how Ellie thought that it was the best thing ever. And it made me go back to tugging at my heartstrings. I think that's what we're missing here. We always think that, okay, how could Disney have done this better? We don't go into it thinking, okay, let's give it the shot. Let's say, all right, this is going to be okay. And then it's not. We think, okay, Disney is going to give us 150% night all the time. When we think it's not 150%, we crap on it. We shit on it. Sorry.
If Disney replaces something else with something else, I expect it to be better than what they replaced.
I
was upset when Disney got rid of Wishes. I was disappointed. But Happily Ever After was a better show over the long haul. The pyrotechnics were definitely better.
When Happily Ever After first came out, people shat on it.
No, absolutely. But dude, I loved that from the first minute I saw it. It told a story. Obviously, I missed Jiminy Cricket.
Right, I get that. But
but yeah, dude, I mean it's really just Walt Disney when he created the parks. And I would, Dave, this is when you were saying this, I had just literally gotten back from sitting on the park bench at the carousel.
Right.
And there's a lot of confusion about what the parks are. The parks were never meant to be a kid's park, and they were never meant to be an adult's park. They were meant because the moment that was the catalyst that pushed the parks into existence was when Walt was sitting on a park bench watching the carousel pass by, and the girls were having the time of their life, and he was watching them do it. And he said, I wish there was a place. I quoted the quote. I literally quoted Walt and what he said. I wish there was a place where we could do this, where we could experience things together. And granted, in some ways, you got to experience that show through their eyes. And dude, I mean,
and to me, that was the best thing.
As a father, ever. You get a little more magic that I have access to because we don't have kids. So seeing your kids experience it is a whole nother level of magic that I don't have access to. I did get that with my little brother when I got to experience the birthday castle through his eyes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely meant to be a park for families to experience together. It's not a kid's park. It's not an adult's park. It's a park where we can all go together. The vision Walt had was that mom and dad and grandpa and junior could all sit and experience it together and enjoy it together.
And I think that is, and I agree with you. That's how it should be. But what Disney adults, not all, some Disney adults have missed the boat, and they are saying, I don't like it, so therefore it sucks. They're not trying to see it through a kid's eyes. And the problem that creates is the other problem that this trip showed up for, or the problem appeared this way. The cast members were amazing. They helped create magic.
Absolutely.
The rides helped create magic. The fireworks show helped create magic. Don't run away, Terry, because I want to hear your take on this. The rides helped create magic. All of the stuff helped create magic. Even going through shopping helped create the magic. There was one thing that probably took me out of magic, And it didn't have anything to do with Disney proper. It was the people in the park thinking that they were promised a spot or thinking that they were, promised a table. It's starting to rain one day. I have Harper in my hand, Harper in the stroller, Elliot holding my hand. Amanda's off to get the dinner or get a tray, and we're trying to find a table. Table comes up. We start making our way towards it. An old woman in a scooter runs into Harper and runs into the table to make sure we don't get that table. And that's just one of 3 or 4 times.
Oh, absolutely. There's no. And I think people forgot how to be good humans during the pandemic.
I agree, because that's, like I said, that
has nothing to do with Disney.
Right. But that's what makes the magic it takes me out of the magic.
It, dude, because when you're in a situation, I mean, the parks have gotten to a price point that the money that you're spending is going to raise your level of entitlement.
Right.
I feel more obligated to a better dining experience at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse than I do at Waffle House.
I can see that.
Although, I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, let's scattered, smothered, and covered it. Because you're most of the time going to have a better dining experience.
You're going to have better
more
food.
colorful.
Right.
And, very seldom does Waffle House mess up a waffle. And honestly, half the time, you're going to get kinder folks waiting on. If you're just nice to those people and joke with them a little bit, they're going to be nice to you. Because the same problem at Ruth's Chris, those people come in there with a high expectation, so when it's not right, they get pissed.
Right.
Dude, I get it, man. You're not wrong, and I think it's the same way. It's why I've almost stepped away from Disney podcasting. Disney fans are jerks on
Disney
a higher
adults
level.
Suck.
And the comments on most Disney groups are ludicrous, especially the pass holder groups.
Oh, dude, I've almost muted that group.
Yeah, dude, I understand. I mean, my favorite group right now is the fine folks over at Three Chiefs to the Mouse. Those are just good folk.
I thought you were going to say unrelated birth listener group, but
no, I mean, no, dude. I mean, these people probably all should know about the unrelated birth. They probably all listen because, but they're just folks who like to go to the parks and go slow and enjoy themselves.
Yeah,
and I mean, and I think if you really truly want to enjoy the parks, skip the rope drop, stay longer,
sleep in,
go later. I guarantee you there are families every day that do more attractions than I will do in an entire trip.
So the other thing with that is that Friday, we actually bought Lightning Lane. Or Genie Plus. I wanted to see what it was like. We bought it at Hollywood Studios, and you buy it for the day. So any park you hop to, it comes with you.
Yeah.
Lightning Lane's cool. It worked for us. Even though we had the DAS pass, we were able to do some Lightning Lane stuff too. The other cool thing is if you buy Lightning Lane or buy Genie Plus, don't sleep on the photo filters. I did the
Doesn't
filter.
Everybody get those, or it's only on the day that you
only
have
well, if you've bought Genie Plus, you get it for your entire trip.
Okay.
You can put a photo and does the augmented reality. If you're pointing it at the castle, it does the augmented reality of the birthday cake castle. Then you can do it from 1971 where it shows scaffolding around the castle. It's pretty cool. Don't sleep on that. That's one thing that Ellie loved doing while we were in line.
The ideas behind it around and this is where you and I disagree a lot on stuff. The ideas behind like Genie Plus, I'm fine with it, but it's the nuance in how they do it, right? Like I get it, we've got to charge more, but the things that people have gotten irate over Disney lately are things like, oh yeah, Disney fans, Some of them have more time than they have money. Up yours. Like that's the same lady that said the portion sizes are going to shrink because Disney fans are fat.
Yeah,
CFO.
up yours.
Huh?
Yeah, up yours on that one. I get it.
And so, like,
I get it.
but
But if you look,
my favorite response though, there's a pretzel. I forgot where it is, but
big
somebody
one,
went to
Germany.
Wawa to get the pretzel, and it's the same pretzel. It's $7 at Disney, and it's $2 at. So that's another pro tip with your kids and experiences. Don't be afraid to bring stuff in the parks.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be the cheap parent if you need to have Disney gifts for your kids that you've gotten off of Amazon or off of the outlets or different places.
And if you drive, don't skip the Character Warehouse at Vineland, and there's another one. Don't go on a Sunday. We tried, and we couldn't find a parking place at Vineland.
Yeah. Well, that place has taken a page out of Disney. In the parking that was free now in the parking garage is an upcharge.
Right.
Because I know it's convenient. So,
but I will say, if you're driving in, if you go to the first one, which is right there by Universal, if you get off the turnpike, it's right there. Stop in. You might find a set of ears for $10. You might find.
Speaking of ears, Costco. No, Sam's.
Yeah,
Sam's has two different sets of ears available right now.
Are they Disney quality?
No.
Okay.
If you're collecting them, you're not going to enjoy them. But if your kids are going to wear them and they're going to lose them anyways.
Okay. See, it's funny because my girls lose things, but those ears that we collect them, they hang on.
No, I mean they're fun. They might actually fit your kids better because they're a little smaller.
Okay.
Leslie likes them the knockoffs because they're super light, and she gets a headache from wearing the headband all day.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. She collects some of the limited edition. She collects the limited edition, but she'll actually wear the.
Okay.
They have one that has three ears, a sleeping mask, a keychain, a lanyard, the little poppet things, the little poppet.
Yeah. Oh, my girls love those.
Yeah, that whole thing was $24 at Sam's.
That's not bad. That's cheaper than one ear.
Exactly. But if you want to buy those, put them in your luggage and have them waiting. And when your kids wake up that first Disney morning, they won't know the difference if you didn't go to get them at this store.
I will say this, and this is something that my wife's had to remind me of. We have gotten used to a certain way of Disney. Sherry, in fact, even laughs at me in the group, calls me bougie. We've gotten used to a certain way of Disney, but there are those that don't get to go to Disney 3 times a year. They don't even get to go to Disney more than once in their life. Yeah. They have to brown bag it as they go in. You can do that, and the magic is still alive and still there, and it's just as fun as the way that I've done it.
Oh, and do Disneyland people, and you could do those things and make up and buy the upgraded experiences.
Right.
Bring your lunch,
And sometimes that's even better than a hamburger and a cheese, whatever.
I mean, speaking of Wawa, stop at Wawa on the way in, get yourself a sub made or go to get a pub sub.
Ooh, yeah.
You don't have Publix where you are. And then, you could save money at parks and then splurge on the character dining experiences and know where you're going to have a hamburger on Disney property with the exception of maybe Deluxe Burger. It's going to be a burger that you're going to tell somebody about.
I'm trying to think. I've had some good ones, but
you're not going to go to a quick service and get a burger.
No, not at all.
$16 that was memorable.
Not at all.
You could get 2 pub subs and feed your whole family for $16.
Right.
And a bag of chips.
Yep. Now, the one caveat, and this is where we went to Epcot and did Flower and Garden on Saturday. If you like Cajun food, run, don't walk. I'd even say start at Canada, and I'm anti starting at Canada. And go to the United States and go to the Magnolia booth. Their gumbo is the best gumbo I've had outside of Louisiana.
Huh?
The best boudin balls I've ever had. They had a rum punch that makes Pat O'Brien's Hurricane just a ho-hum drink.
I think Magnolia is giving Louisiana a bit of a I feel like they could have called that the Swampland or
Dude, and then
the Mud Bug Pavilion.
Yeah, and then the Lunchbox Pavilion there by Test Track. The best shrimp and grits I've ever had. And that's saying something.
Have you had the shrimp and grits at Husk, Nashville?
I have not.
No.
But I've eaten. Yeah, never start at Canada. Save the best for last. So I know whose comment that is.
Well, often I come in International Gateway, so I start all wrong too.
So here's my argument. No matter where you start, if you start at the International Gateway or if you start there at the Festival Center or whatever they call it, always go clockwise. So if you start at the International Gateway, start at UK. If you start at the Festival Center, you start at Mexico.
Yeah. But once again, if you mention Genie Plus is going to tell you how to go.
Right. The
if you're trying to maximize it.
Right.
Even Genie regular.
Right.
So
and let's be honest. I wasn't trying to maximize it because, like I said earlier, I do Disney 2 to 3 times a year. I don't care if I ride everything.
Yep. Nope.
It's
a much better. Yeah. No,
right.
I went to Disneyland with Jeff Barnes, who's literally Dr. Disneyland, and we rope dropped and closed.
Never. No. I might have to.
Now when you go to Disneyland, you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm straight up like my knee still hurts from it.
Oh, don't tell me that. Now I have done Genie Plus. We've gone ahead and bought Genie Plus,
and it's $5 more there.
Oh well, we bought it with our tickets.
Yeah.
So travel agent pass.
Too, so that's done.
Well, we're going to park at our resort and Uber.
Good
or
call.
Park at our hotel.
Good
Actually,
call.
no, we're not even going to park because we're flying into Santa Ana, John Wayne.
And you're just going to
just go.
Uber.
Yep.
Yeah, you might spend a small fortune in Ubers. But
I will, but it's California.
Dude, parking there is $30 a day. So if you're going 3 days,
yeah,
there's $90. So,
yep.
All right. Well,
there you go.
We should wrap this sucker up.
Yep. We finished the trip Sunday on our way out, ate at Chef Mickey's. And I'll be honest, if they never bring the buffet back, I'll be totally happy with that. It was family style, and they actually had brisket in the family style breakfast stuff, and it was amazing.
Oh, wow. You might have just been delirious by that point of the trip and not none.
No, it was brisket. Trust me, it was good. Wow.
That's crazy.
I know, right? And sad news as we were sitting at the tables when I first found out that Scott Hall was had 3 heart attacks. So
there you go.
There you go.
Well, all kinds of news. I'm sure there'll be more this week. We're
going to try to record a lot more. We need to do it, Terry.
I'm here. We need. We'll talk. We always talk to each other more during baseball season, anyways.
That's true.
Just for emotional support. So,
dude, it's a spring training game.
Things, R.I.P. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, it was a spring training game yesterday, and our single A team was in, and you were getting mad that we were losing.
It's real to me. We had our closing pitcher in, and he was.
Kenley Jansen hadn't pitched yet.
Oh, well, we have a couple of closers, but
right, Kenley Jansen's our big one now.
Okay, we got rain delayed today, so
yeah,
we dodged a bullet on my blood pressure medicine today. Being a Braves fan is not for the faint of heart, literally.
It is not. Try being a Braves fan, Titans fan, and Alabama fan. You're just SOL.
Yeah. Well, and a Disney fan trying to put up. And, to go with what Dave said, be nice to people.
Please.
Be nice to the cast members. They're not the one making the decisions you don't like. If you do see the people that are in power, if you see the vice presidents of the park, if you see Josh tomorrow, if you see Bob Chapek in the parks, tell them how you feel.
Be nice to him when you tell him how you feel, but tell him how you feel.
Be nice to Josh. Yeah.
Be nice to Bob too. I feel bad for Bob. I really
Oh
do.
yeah, dude. He has inherited.
I'm starting to think that Iger set him up for
Oh,
failure.
dude. There's no. When he came back, I was like, that's the most brilliant. I gained a whole new respect, and they're supposedly stopped talking.
They have.
When he came back, they haven't spoken to each other really. Although Chapek didn't come to the D23 event because of his reasoning was Iger's farewell party at his house.
Mhm.
So
It might have happened after that. So.
this might be heroes and villains, man. This is all a game.
He's only got one more year on his contract anyway. So
Disney's a for-profit company. I remind everyone.
Yep.
The quickest way you can change their opinion about something you don't like is not giving them money.
Or buy their stock and become a voting member.
Yeah, well, dude, I know people who literally. I have 3 or 4 friends that bought stock just to vote next time.
I'll vote against him every time.
So, well, good for you. The problem is, you own 2 shares or whatever you own.
I own 10 shares.
10 shares, but like Morgan Sachs owns 10 million shares or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So your vote's barely, whoever, all these conglomerates.
Right.
Warren Buffett probably owns the whole thing. But yeah, well, there you go. There's our Disney stock tips. Yeah, I think we covered it. We talked about the Disneyland Tower. We talked about the minivans. Talked about the Grand Floridian. We'll talk some more about the Polynesian. We'll dive a little deeper into that. I'm excited about some of it, but the building is hideous.
I'm just excited we're getting more rooms.
Oh yeah, dude, we need more rooms. The Polynesian is my favorite DVC resort right now.
I've never stayed there.
Yeah, the Polynesian and the Grand California are my 2 favorite DVC resorts.
Good to know.
Especially if you're staying in the studio, the Polynesian studios are the bomb diggity. And dude, I mean, I've always said the real magic of DVC. It's getting no, it's not. I was gonna say it's not really getting a little less. I just saw somebody's their Expedia deal that they got pitched in an ad yesterday for Easter weekend, which obviously is expensive.
Oh yeah, hands down.
But Pop Century was no All Star Sports was, I believe, $749.
Are you serious?
So yeah,
For a night?
for a night.
Dave Adams, travel agent, Go Getaways. Dave.
Now, granted, Easter weekend, probably all the resorts are sold out that weekend.
Yeah, I just quoted.
Passes are blocked that weekend.
I just booked a resort for somebody for $179 in June.
June is different.
That is
April.
true.
It's 82 degrees versus 102 degrees.
Yeah, that's true.
Hurricane season versus not hurricane season. Oddly, the summer's becoming low point season. It's becoming lower crowd season.
Yeah. Because no one wants to go for the hotness.
Nope. Well, this was Hotness. It's a good episode, Dave Adams. We'll see you guys next time on Top of the World. I'm Terry Weaver.
I'm Dave Adams.
And we'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.